Hello, hello, and welcome to Transparent, where we do interviews and not interviews. My name is Lakendra Ford, and I am so happy that you all have a chance to join us because I have a very, very special guest, Miss Lucinda Augustin. Can y'all all say hi to Lucinda? Lucinda,
Hello, hi.
hey!
Hello, everyone. Okay.
I am so happy to have you here with Transparent because ever since I met you, I felt this energy, and just speaking to you just gives a sense of peace. And I wanted to share you with our friends because I feel that they'll feel the same way that I do about you. So I just wanted to let our family know, Transparent, listen, I met this sister and she's powerful. Her spirit is very powerful. Her mission is very powerful. And that's something about this show I knew was going to feel a little bit different. But I said, God, I'm not scared of him because I have a woman who is here and prepared to speak about self love. Self love. And something you said, Lucinda, when you said, how dare you honor your walk?
Yes. you know, um, Excuse me, in the background, you will hear my daughter pleading for me to come and help her with homework.
It's okay. We have mothers on here.
So just know that she's okay. She's not being abused.
Well, it's a
Um,
good thing she's begging to do homework, you
yeah,
know?
because she's a straight A. So I think a lot of people forget their walk, right? We're just like so focused on the journey, but
Yeah,
we're forgetting about the little steps of the journey. Okay.
yeah.
So how dare you honor your walk is something that God had to like put deep on my chest
Mhm.
to show me myself. Not what nobody saw of me, but where I've come from, being that okay, so I'm Haitian, okay?
Mhm.
Born and raised in Haiti until I was like about 8.5 years old, came to the state, didn't know any English, just Creole and French, and had to learn, to speak English and go through ESOL and go through all the, you know, stuff that Haitians or foreigners go through.
Right, 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 right. I
Become
understand.
American. So that's a part of my walk, right? Being labeled because I was Haitian, being called, go back to the banana boat, African booty scratcher. I came in the 80s
Yeah.
and AIDS epidemic was strong. And
Mhm.
Haiti was one of the countries that the US said bought AIDS. So, coming from that stigma and coming from people thinking, oh, you Haitian, you do voodoo. So all of these things are just little pieces, little steps in my walk. But learning to love, not loving, because sometimes you don't want to be bothered,
Right,
especially when you have the gift of God in your life, on
right.
your life, around your life. See, there's different levels to this, right? People pray, Lord, use me, use me. Okay, you're going to have to honor that walk.
Right, right, right. It's easy for us to ask that, you know what? Because, I think good people naturally want to find a utility for who they are.
Yes.
But the process of becoming, and I'm going to get into that because you know what? Because look at us already. Already, I had some questions I wanted to ask you, but look at us just going into the vibe. But I'm gonna ease us back a little bit because I want
Yes.
to ask you this question
Mhm.
because you were already getting into it, but it says a lot of people, being that you said honor our walk, a lot of people speak about the journey of life, right? But they never really speak about why they chose the road they chose. Like,
Right.
so that's what I want to know. What chose your direction, and what was your first beliefs about life, about being a woman? And has your life confirmed that for you, or has it changed?
Wow. Okay. So woo woo woo. Let's go.
Did I say
Okay.
too much? I'm like, because I'm like,
That's,
Lucinda going to
all
answer
right.
this for me.
So life being a woman. Let me just tell you. You know, Whitney Houston had a song that said, I'm every woman, right? It's all in me. And people looked at the song and the beat was real good, but the message was, I'm every woman. Now, since a young girl, I grew up in church. My mom was a pastor. So I was woven in Christianity and not really knowing God, knowing church, but not knowing God.
Right.
Okay. So I went with the flow and didn't really have a personal relationship with God. I had what my parents brought to the table every Sunday. Okay. Which
Mm-hmm.
was their 10 commandments. So it wasn't until I was like 16 years old. Um, my first interaction with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, was when I was 5 years old. I remember I was really, really sick and I actually died. Like I actually died. And when I died, I was in Haiti and I remember my body was lifting up and I looked down and I saw all the women in the house. They were dressed in white and they were crying and praying for my soul. And all of a sudden, the Spirit of God and I saw a new world. Every nation you could think of. There were nations I didn't even know exist. And at that point, God was dealing with me, and I saw this lion, this huge lion, and I was so fearful. And the Lord said, no, I've given you dominion over it. So he went like that. He or she, I don't know, went like that. And the lion put his head down, and I sat on it, and I walked the earth with God. And I said, wow, I just want to be with you. And he said, no, your mother needs you. Go back. Remember what I just said right there. That's a part of my walk. And I was like, no, I want to be with you. He said, go back. Then he hit me in my heart and life came back into me. And the first thing I called out for was my mom. Unbeknownst to me, that was a part of my journey, being close to my mom, right? Fast forward, turned 16, parents divorced, moved to Atlanta, homeless. The Spirit of God visited me on I-95. As soon as we got to the Georgia line, I told my mom, stop the car. She stopped the car and I got out the car and it felt like I had ants in my feet and I could not stop dancing. I could not stop crying. I could not stop telling God, thank you for everything that you're about to do in my life, not knowing what was about to happen in my life, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I really got into knowing God for myself, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor at 18.
Wow.
This is a part of my womanhood. I became barren. I couldn't have kids for 11 years. I suffered in silence, jumping the aisles, going to church tents, believing, speaking in tongues, speaking life into myself, and the tumor was still there. Until one day, I said, you know what? I'm not going to go to another tent meeting. I'm going to believe God to bless the hands of a doctor to heal me. And the Lord put me with my doctor at Emory. I had my surgery December 23rd, 2009. I became pregnant with my daughter in March of 2010
Wow.
after being barren for 11 years. So if a woman is out there and they're like, I can't have kids, I know what it feels like. LaKendra, it used to be so bad for me that I would go to baby showers and I'll be happy for the mother. I would buy them gifts, but silently I was dying on the inside with
Mm.
every diaper, every bib, every
Right,
pass.
right, right.
I'm like, why me? I'm a good person. What's going on? But this was a part of my walk because I had to trust God enough to trust my womb with what He was about to do supernaturally to my womb and through my womb, right? So I started thinking to myself, what if you believe? What if you believe more than your eyes see, right?
Mm-hmm.
The doctor's telling you can't have kids. You have no period at all. You don't even know what it feels like to have a cycle. What if you believe that not only will you have your cycle, but you will start having children. And I woke up one day and I wrote on my vision board what I wanted. And I went out and I bought a baby's outfit and I put it in my closet. And my friends thought I was crazy,
Mm.
but I was honoring the baby steps of my walk. Now, 4 pregnancies, 3 children,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Later, I speak to my friends. I have people that have come to me and they've asked me, Lou, I can't have kids. And I've prayed with them and I've told them what the Lord has shown me, and they've conceived because that step of my walk, I honored it. I didn't fold. I cried when I was broken, but I honored it up
Right.
until the point that God saw fit to allow me to conceive.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing about it is, I had a miscarriage. Another thing that I can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, barren, have kids, but miscarry one of your child. And when it happened, everybody was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Lou." I said, "Oh, psh, girl, don't be. It's all good. I'm happy I miscarried because I would have never met my son because I was pregnant with my son soon after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they tell you, oh, the fetus is not a child. The fetus. That's what everybody tells you. This is a part
Understood.
of. A few months ago, I was laying down, and all of a sudden, I felt the spirit of my unborn child speak to me. And I sat up out the bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I heard this baby say, Mother, I was here. I didn't stay long, but I was here. Now I'm an ancestor and I'm your angel. You tell everybody you're happy because my siblings came after me, but I was here. I
Mm.
lived and I breathed inside of you. Honey, I boo hooed and I cried so hard. And I asked myself for forgiveness. And I asked this unborn child, this so called fetus, for forgiveness and not acknowledging that years ago it was a part of my vision statement that I had said that I would have 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I've had 4 pregnancies, but I only count 3. So this is a part of my self health, how I'm learning to love Lou in all aspects of Lou.
Right.
That every confrontation of Lucinda, of Lulu, my nickname,
Mm-hmm.
Bebe, my household name, Mrs. Augustin, CEO, wife, mother, businesswoman, songwriter, the child, Lucinda, all of it. I've embraced all of it. And I've dug so deep in my spirit and forgave me, forgave my daddy issues.
Mm.
Okay? That's the number one thing. The first person that I knew that was supposed to love me is my father.
Right.
But for years, I come from a Haitian household. So you already know what that means.
Right. Right. Right.
Very rough parenting. No hugs, no love. Go to school, do what you have to do. But in me healing myself, I was able to heal that little girl, Lucinda, deep inside that was hurt by her daddy by not getting affection. And now me and my dad talk all the time. And before we hang up the phone, I tell him, I love you. And I mean it because I'm healing.
Right. Lucinda, what you were saying is so powerful. And as you were speaking, I was going into remembrance of parts of my journey.
Mm,
And I'm surprised this came up because I didn't know you were going to speak about this. But when I lost my last child after my son Liam, I had miscarriages in the past, but this felt different.
mm-hmm.
They were mine and I knew it.
Yeah,
And I mourned
yeah.
as if this baby already came to the earth. Because, we're getting programmed, whatever politics we have, spiritual reasons, whatever. But I think the essence of our spirit, that's the irreplaceable part, no matter which form it's in.
Right. Right.
Because I was once in my mom's womb. And then when you talked about when you were younger, and looking for daddy,
Yeah.
you know, that's a story that a lot of women share. Even if their dad is present, you can be present and absent at the same time.
Oh, for sure. The home. My daddy was in the home.
Yeah, like you're there, but you're not really there.
Yeah.
And so many women go out into the world looking for these pieces, trying to find peace in the pieces. And this is one of the main things, like why we're having this talk about self-love, you know. Um, but I have another question for you.
Hmm.
It's a lot of people get a chance to, when you ask people, what do you do? Who are you? A lot of people have a trouble with defining their I am. They
Hmm.
usually explain what it is they have or what it is they want. But when was that point in your life when you got to say, I am Lucinda?
You know, okay. I didn't realize it at the time until years later, right? But my I am Lucinda came on the day of my mom's funeral. On the day of my mom's funeral, when my mother died, I didn't believe in God anymore.
Mm,
Jesus was not my friend. I was like, I'm gonna be real with you. I was like, stay the hell away from me.
mm,
Like, even to the point that I was like, F God, this, I'm being real, because in the matter of how she died, I felt so betrayed by the Lord.
mm,
Like, I've been living with you all of my life, and you let her die in church on the pulpit? Like, you let me hear her last breath, and it was her speaking in tongues, knowing that I just spoke to her the day before and I told her that I needed her. At my mom's funeral, me and my husband was holding hands. Mind you, I'm the baby of my siblings. And that's when it dawned on me, you are Lucinda. And it was everything that my mom was preparing me for all those years. Every meeting she took me to at the state capitol, Washington D.C., everyone that she said, this is my daughter, she's a mean dog, that's my baby Lucy, and she prayed over me, and she threw her prayer shawl over me, and she said, greater things will you do than me. And I, come on, mommy, all right, mommy. We would go to places and she'll say, Lucinda, speak, Lucinda, sing. And she would always push me to people, and I didn't like it.
mm-hmm,
I didn't like it. But at her funeral, I had my aha moment. And I said, wow, I'm worthy of this walk. And I'm deserving of all good things here on out. Everything that I desire has to come to pass, because all these steps have gotten me here.
mm-hmm,
So it was at my mom's funeral that I realized who I was and the power of who I was, because I embodied her role. I became the CEO of her nonprofit. I was able to see her vision, and my features changed. I started looking like my mama.
whoa.
Yeah.
You're saying this, sis, and I don't know if I ever told you, but because we just met recently, transparent. So it's just like a couple of months ago we met at a special occasion. So happens to have been celebrating new life to come at a baby shower. But last September, Lucy, I lost my mom. right?
Mm.
And this year, as you're saying, you said, it's so funny how you say that you got to your I am at that point. It didn't happen for me immediately. I went
Yeah.
through all those emotions you went through, like, God, I serve you. Everyone who knows me, I'm even a comedian, but I'm always helping somebody. I'm praying. People come to me to pray for them for
Right.
all different types of reasons. And I said, you take my mom like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my mind told me to go back into everything I used to say and speak to people and speak life into it and say, you're going to live through this. You're going to be greater. You're going to stand. But my heart was broken.
Broken. Mm.
But as the year progresses, I think I'm closer to my I am. Not what
Hmm.
I do, not who people see me as. My I am. Because our moms did set us up.
Yes.
And now we've moved up a placement on the board.
Yeah.
And I don't have, if you were like me, I lived for my mom's pleasure.
Oh my gosh.
My identity was tied up into being Lil's daughter. It still is. But this strength that happened recently, that's why I had to take a little breather for a couple of months and say, I am coming into my I am, Lucy.
Hmm.
And it's unapologetic.
Yeah.
And it's not as pleasant as I thought it was going to be. I got bold.
Yeah.
I speak my mind.
Yeah.
And my relationship with God is different but stronger. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry I took that, but
No,
I
no,
had
no.
no idea we was about to go here. But sis, if we gonna go here, I'm with you.
Listen, and last week, September 20th, is when we laid my mom, the late Pastor Rose Duperval Edkins, to rest. September 20th, 2014.
September 11th for me.
See, see,
Mm.
and I'm just, that's when I realized, I'm like, oh my God. And I told my husband, I said, everywhere we've driven, everywhere we've gone, like physically in a car, I touched that ground with my mother years before, not knowing, not knowing that
Uh,
she was manifesting this. And so a part of Lucinda is every woman. I can relate.
mhm.
Even though I grew up in the church, I was around the heathens. And
How
they were
about
parts,
this? Let's be real, Lou, because we
they
spoke
were,
about this. We could be in the word. People have this is the problem I think people have about spiritual people, the difference between spiritual people and religious people. I believe that when God is truly going to use you, you don't get to stay in this safe space
no.
of ideal perfection, of I do everything holy, I do everything right. No, He puts you in the valley.
Hmm.
How could you know what you want to infect or affect in this world if you're not in the valley to see and to feel and to be with who God wants to use you to be there for? So I've been in the valley and I probably visit there every Tuesday, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's, you know what? And the funny thing is, growing up in church, I realized that some of the church folks was worse than the people out in the world. It was like, oh, give me them. Give me the people out in the world, because at least I know their colors.
Right.
From racism, sexism, just all kinds of craziness things that you think that would go on in the world. It was in the house of God. And what I realized, early on, I'm just a messenger delivering the mail. That's it. People say, Lucinda, do you want to be a pastor? No. What are you in the body of Christ? I'm not in the body of Christ. I'm a child of God. I believe in the Lord. I believe in Jesus. But I'm just a messenger. All I'm doing is delivering the mail, because the mail that I give to you is not necessarily going to tell you you're going to get a house, you know, you're going to get $20,000 in the bank. The deliverance that God has for you is supernatural to deliver you and break generational curses within you.
Mhm.
So, and I had to learn that as well, as being someone that honors her walk. I had a young lady in the church that I knew as a child, and the Lord gave me a word for her. Because another thing that I run away from is I have a gift. And my mom always said, Lucy, you're a prophetess. And I was like, I don't want that. I'm like, don't be, And she tell me that, and I used to get really angry at her. And I'm like, I don't want that. You could have it. Until the Lord was like, all right, I'm gonna show you. And God started showing me things beyond that which my eyes could see while I'm awake. Like I can be in front of somebody and my whole spirit will just not even be present with you. But whoever that person is, which is called my assignment, God will show me everything to the T, up until the color of their house, like personal stuff, right? And I run away from it sometimes because I'm Haitian. And when I tell people, thus said the Lord, and they find out I'm Haitian, they automatically tie it to black magic, right?
Mhm.
And I had a situation where a young lady that grew up with me, that was in church with me, one day the Lord gave me a word for her. And God showed me this person of interest. This lady never told me anything, um, nothing. And when the Lord revealed it to me, I said it to her. It was so descriptive. Lakendra, it was so descriptive. It scared me. And when I called her, and she said, "Is this the person you're talking about?" And she showed me a picture of the guy, and I said, "Yes." And I told her all these things that God showed me. And then she said, "My mother told me not to believe you, that you're not saved." Okay?
Mm.
Her mother, who was another Christian, told her, "Don't believe me. I'm not saved for real. There's no way that God could have showed this to me, that I'm in black magic." And this was a part of my walk, right? I immediately felt so worthless in my calling to speak to somebody else. Okay. I completely shut down. I said, Lord, I don't want to do this no more. They don't even believe that it's coming from you. And so I shut down and I refused to go places. I just didn't want to go nowhere.
Mm.
But the funny thing that happened is God was like, I'm going to show you that it's not about you,
Mm.
it's about you honoring your walk.
It's through you, sis.
So I'm not afraid anymore. I just tell people, and when I tell them, I say, hey, I'm just delivering the package. You'll never see me again. And after I say it, it leaves me. I don't even remember.
Mm.
But my
I,
mom told,
yeah, your mom knew something.
she knew something, honey, and
A
I
lot of
fought.
times they'll tell you, you know, they felt it in the womb. My mom used to say, I felt you were different in the womb. She said, you know, and it was like so, it's so crazy because I go back and I think about some of the things she said. I was like, wow, why?
Yeah.
Why? And my family, I will say, understanding so much about me on a spiritual side, they were a big forge of protection for me,
Mm.
you know. And I thank them for not making me feel like I was a weirdo.
Yeah. I did not listen. My sister used to be like, listen, it used to be to the point that my sister did not want to go party with me. Let me tell you something. The encounter that I had two encounters early on. The first one, this young lady can vouch to it. Her name is Monica, and my sister was doing her hair in 1998. And this is when God was like, I'm gonna show you how strong I am in you for the benefit of me.
For him.
Okay. because we all are vessels. And when I met this young lady at my sister's, at our apartment, my sister was doing her hair. And God was like, I'm going to show you from now on that whenever you say, show me that which my eyes cannot see, this is one of my prayers. And I recommend it to somebody who wants God to elevate them to the next level, because it's going to be scary, because God is going to show you things.
Mm-hmm.
And when I prayed, show me that which my eyes cannot see. Okay, baby, hold on. Okay, give me
The
a few minutes.
spirit and Fruit Loops here, only
Listen,
on Transparent. Okay.
everybody's coming. We're in a 6 bedroom house, but they need clothes here. They need cereal. Give me 5 minutes, please. Give me a few minutes. So, just things that God revealed to me from about this young lady, and I found her on Facebook a few years ago. And when she saw it was me, she's like, "Oh my God!" And the Lord said, "Remember, that was one of your first babies into spirituality, not religion."
Mm-hmm.
Because religion, with what the gift that we have inside of us, religion hates it. They tell us it's not of God. But the spiritual side of us, this is why the church now is in turmoil,
Mm,
because the Spirit of God is coming and taking back what is the rightful place of God. So that's why you have all these people that are religious
mm-hmm.
being uncovered, okay? Being found with fault, okay? Being just like us,
Yeah.
regular, because they were operating in religion, not spirituality. And I I had an experience that's a part of my walk, and it broke me because I couldn't believe it. We just bought our house, and my neighbor, I never met her. I saw her across the street. She had a big fight with her kids and some other kids, and I never met this lady. And I went to drop my daughter off at school. And when I parked my car and I was walking to my house, my eyes caught eye contact with her. And immediately the Lord said, you need to tell her she needs to make peace with her body, because she's going to die. And when she dies, her children will scatter. And it scared the bejesus out of me. And my husband was like, don't you dare go to that lady and say nothing to her. We just moved here. You see, they had a big fight. This lady's going to
Right,
think you're
right.
crazy. And girl, for 3 days, I was sick to the point that I was throwing up. And when I told him, he said, you better stop this Cleo stuff, Lucinda. He's like, people not going to receive it. And I said, I have to do, thus said the Lord. And I mustered up my strength. I didn't know how she was going to receive me. I don't know if she was going to fight me. And I went and I told her, LaKendra. And when I told her, I couldn't stop crying. And she said, who are you? She said, there's no way you would have known this if God didn't say it to you, because I have a tumor in my stomach. I have lupus and I am dying. And I have 10 children. LaKendra, that woman died 3 days later. And when she died, right before she died, the Lord showed me exactly what time she died. And her daughter, it was chaos outside in the yard. And I went outside, and my best friend was like, Lou, there's something going on in your neighbor's house. People are crying and screaming. And I stood on my balcony and I said, hey, where's your mom? And the daughter said, stay away from us. Stay away from us. So here's my walk. I just closed up and I ran in the house and I started crying. And I said, oh my God, what happened? What happened? What happened? And that night she came and she said, you're the lady that came and talked to my mommy. She said, my mom died today. And I said, your mother died at 4:30, right? She said, yeah. How did you know? I said, your mother's heart stopped. She had a stroke. She said, yes. Everything I told that woman, all 10 of her kids scattered. And I was so blown away by the words that God used to tell her that her time was coming. And I told God, don't do this to me no more. I don't want it. I said, it's too heavy. We have a gift, but the way that the world is set up, we're so consumed by things, people, places, that we forget that we're made from the earth. So we have to be in sync with the earth and love the earth, which is God's creation,
Right.
right? Because at the end of the day, man is not going to win. God's creation is going to win. So you have to find who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, and whatever gift God gives you. Whether people accept you, hate you, honor you, that is your gift to this earth. That is yours. It's no one else's. So I had to stop thinking that, people tell me, "Oh my God, you have such a beautiful smile. You're so this and you're so that." And I'm like, wow. Growing up, some
Was
people
I
used to, I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel
right?
pretty, you know? I didn't feel it. I didn't know what that was. Nowadays I'm very affectionate. I'm affectionate with my spouse. I'm affectionate with my kids. I hug my kids. I pray over them. I kiss them. I love them. I do affirmation. I pick them up even in their age. And they're like, "I'm not a baby. I'm not a baby." And I tell them, "I'm giving you what I never had." I
Mm,
say, I never had my dad hold my hands to school. I never had my dad show up at my cheerleading
right.
game, screaming in the stand, you know, bake sales, cookie sales, buying you uniform, everything you need. I didn't have that. So because of that, I'm honoring my walk as a woman, a daughter, a mother, a fighter, a healer of myself. I can't heal you. I can't heal my spouse and be good to him if I don't go back to baby Lulu,
Right.
Lucinda, Bebe, Miss Augustin. It's not selfish for me to love her. It's not, to guard her and let her know, hey, all the mistakes you've made, it's okay.
Right.
What you learn from it, Lou?
Right.
And you
Right.
do.
Mm. Lucinda, you showing up, girl. You showing up. All right, I gotta speak to our friends at Transparent. I know y'all like this is heavy, but guess what? Before I got onto this, like I was speaking to you, Lucinda, I said something felt different about this one. And I had, for all those that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I love y'all. And y'all know I had to take a little hiatus, but I'm so back. I'm so blessed to be back in this way because that's what I feel God had my hiatus for. Because I had to really come to terms with I am. And this platform, Lucinda, like I explained to you, when I chose this as a dedication to God, my mind and my experience of being in entertainment told me to do this, speak to this person, speak about this. And something just said, no, you can't. Not this, not transparent. This is not for that. This is for soul talking. That's why God gave me this is not an interview, it's an inner view. And it's so challenging to do what you know is your calling and fear that you can't live up to it. You understand? I'm like, wow, why would you tell me to go this direction when I'm angry right now?
Yeah.
I've just been robbed, I felt. My best friend and amongst my mom, like every how, my cousin, why would you, how can I be positive? How can I be the Lakendra, the the person that everyone knew me to be when I'm hurting? And before we got on here, he reminded me again, it's not about you.
Not about you.
It's through you. Don't worry about who's going to come on and speak. Don't worry about what they're going to say. I need you to be present and I need you to press play and record. That's
Yeah.
it. So, Lucy, I know we're going to have to do a take two. I know it because I'm telling you, I had a concept of what I wanted to ask you, and I think you covered most of it in the spirit of it. Like I said, we're transparent. We're not just into formalities. We're about what speaks, words from the heart speak to the heart. I got that from my cousin Shanka. God bless her spirit.
Right.
But this was powerful, and I thank you so much for sharing, sis. I
Thank you
thank
for.
you so much. And we're not done. I think this is part one because we are not
Okay.
done.
We're not.
You had me stuck here because I did not know how much we had in common.
Yeah. A
And
lot.
I can't do much talking because I'm just listening because I wanted to make sure I wasn't influencing what you were saying. I'm like, that's really her.
Yeah.
A mirror.
You know,
And we are enough.
I challenge your listeners to two things from the north, south, east, west, wherever they are. The next rainstorm, stand outside in the rain. Stand outside in the rain and let the rain fall from the top of your head to the sole of your feet and wash it all away. Don't get in the tub. Stand outside in the rain. That was one of the most profound moments that I had a few months ago. I was on my front porch. It was late night and it started raining. And I stood there and I lifted up my hands and I just couldn't stop crying. And I started telling God, you hear me, you heal me, you see me. I am yours
Yes.
and I matter to you.
Mm, mm.
And
I
as
can't
the,
wait for it to rain.
yeah, just let, I'm
If you
telling,
think about it, I'm just as you're saying it, it's so profound because no one, at least no one who believes in God, period. I've never heard them say rain don't come from God. That's
okay,
something I think we all kind of agree with, that these are the things that remind you that it's bigger than us.
bigger.
These humans, us humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just feel so powerful in our domain. God still is in control.
Yeah.
God still has the moon in the sky, the
Oh,
sun in the sky, the stars, the planets. He's doing all this without our permission, without our smarts,
yes.
without our smartphone. He still is
Without
in
it.
control, right? He don't need our permission to be God.
No, he doesn't.
So what we need to get back to is the source of him. And sis, I can't wait to stand in the rain because
They,
that's actually, because as a black woman, I was taught to run in the rain. You
yeah,
understand?
go ahead. Stand there.
I
And you
want to feel
watch it.
him.
Do it and let me know. Let me know. Do it and just do your acclamation right there. Like everything. I stood there and I just said everything from childhood on down. And I was like, you see me. And the tears just started rolling. And the more that I just started breathing in the breath of life, I just was transformed. And I was like, wow.
Wow. Oh, girl, oh, girl, girl. Well, transparent, listen here. If you made it this far into this interview, it's because God purposed you just like it purposed us to have this conversation.
Yeah,
You know, this is unscripted. This didn't go where we thought it was going to go, but it went where God wanted it to be. And I thank you so much for being transparent because that's what this platform is about, Lucinda. And
yeah.
we all, if not physically, we should all stand in the rain, and rather it's spiritually. Stand in the rain. Let's stand under God again because we're getting
Ooh,
lost. We're getting lost, y'all. And it's not about religion. We could refute everything. You could say no Jesus. I don't care. But you
yeah.
know what? God, whatever you call the Most High, the Messiah, Jehovah Jireh. I don't care Yahweh, whoever. But there is a God
Yes.
that's asking us to connect back with Him instead of trying to replace Him.
Yes.
We got to get back. Something's off.
Something's off.
And I'm just flesh. I'm not, y'all know me. I'm not no psycho, spiritual, churchy person. I love church. I ain't gonna lie. I do love it. I do love the word. But I am not the orthodox kind of, Christian. I believe in different things that's not traditional. And I feel that brings me closer to God.
Right.
But whatever you find him so you can find yourself.
Mm.
Find your I am and honor your walk.
Walk. That's right.
We're not a mistake.
Mm.
Your life was not a mistake. Let's make it matter, y'all. I
That-
love you so much. Thank you, sis. We got to do this again because this is, man, this is heavy. This is heavy and so necessary. And I can't wait to speak to you offline, but
Yeah.
we have to get back on here because we got more. And I
We got.
pray that this reaches, I don't care how many it reaches. I pray it reaches the right person.
Yes.
Just one. God bless you, sis. And
Thank
I
you.
have one last question before, because I
Yeah.
ask this every time.
Yes.
So I need you to finish this statement.
Mm-hmm.
The legacy of Lucinda Augustin,
Oh. Oh.
okay, will be found where?
The legacy of Lucinda Augustin will be found in my children.
Yes. So
And
you heard it here. You heard
yeah.
it here. The same way her mother and her father passed into her, and her mother pushed her into understanding who she is, and now she is Lucinda and understanding her I am. She's going
Yeah.
to leave that legacy to her children. On what better place to place it? God bless you, sis. Until next time.
Yes. Until next time. It was a
All
pleasure.
right.
All right. Bye.
Everybody, like, comment, subscribe. We want to know what you think about it. Okay. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.